welcome to my channel. This video is gonna be about my knitting. So just some background story. I started knitting, was it September, October last year, so September 2022, and I have been knitting constantly pretty much since then. That's all I've been doing on my spare time, and this is all of them all of the projects, items, piece of clothing that I've done. But I will go through them, and they're not particularly in any order. I'll try to show them in the order from like the beginning of my knitting journey to more up to date. But I don't have my first project here. My first project was a sock. So I started knitting a sock. I should have a picture of it, and if I do, I'll post it somewhere here on the video. And so I started with a sock to see if knitting is even something for me. I got just a pair of 3.5mm needles to that ended up becoming like, yeah, it's not enough. So I bought like one of these interchangeable needle sets, so I could try on and make other types of projects when I kind of figure out, yeah, okay, there's different types of yarns and there's different types of gauge and all this, so I had to learn all that stuff. More information to a background story. So if you hear an echo in the video, it's because there is an echo. We're currently moving house, so in 2 weeks we are finally moving to a house that we bought 2 months ago. Me and my sambo found the perfect dream house, and we're moving in 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks into a house. And I couldn't be more excited. I'm so happy. And like, this is kind of sidetracking now. I'm gonna get into knitting very soon, but I just wanna express how hectic my life is at the moment. We're in mid-moving. That's why you hear the echo, because we have kind of taken down everything from the walls. It's high ceiling in this room, so everything echoes even more. But we're in mid-moving, and my sambo is he's in Ireland at the moment for a work trip, so I'm all home alone. Therefore, I figured this is a great opportunity to film this video. I can take my time and just concentrate on this, and like, he works from home, and if I want to film something and I feel inspired and there's good lighting, he might be working or be in meetings, so it's gonna be heard in the background. And so if I don't record this now, it's never happening. And I've tried to film this before, and it just didn't feel right in the setting that I was in. And the best setting is here in the living room, where my sambo has his office. So I can go into that whole house thing later. But yeah, essentially we found the perfect house. I can put a picture of that house or even insert some clips of it. And like, the moment I saw that house, I knew that I have to have this house. This house, like, looking at the ad of the house from the realtor, it felt almost a bit too good to be true. Anyway, yes, my first knitting project was a grey wool sock. I made just one, and I still have the idea that I should make 2 from that yarn. But the first sock turned out too small, obviously. I was too eager to end the project. It was just a plain vanilla sock, I think. But yeah, so I made that sock, and I was so proud, and like, wow, I've actually made a garment. Like, it doesn't fit, but it's still a garment. Somebody can wear it. If not me, then yeah, It works probably for like a 12-year-old at least. But then I got into like, wouldn't it be so cool to be able to knit your own like jumper or sweater? So I'm like, I have to do that. So I went into like, I asked a friend who's into knitting, and I asked her how she finds her like patterns and so on. And I started googling around. I started looking on YouTube, and there I found like plenty of amazing YouTubers. I found Drop's website, Garnstudio, and they have plenty of free patterns and different levels. So I figured I found a pattern that I really wanted to make that used Drop's Fable and Drop's alpaca silk, I think. I'll show you that garment in a while, or in just a sec. So let's see here. Yeah, there was a pattern that I found that I wanted to make that used this yarn combination, and I looked how much yarn I needed to do that, and then I ordered it and got it home. And when I started it or started to read the pattern, I was like, I was overwhelmed. It was so many things to look at, and the way Drops have, they have that you read the pattern, but there's also tutorials on how to make each thing. So I got overwhelmed of all the information that was there. So I just wanted to, okay, I want to see if there's any free YouTube videos that I could just mimic and make just a basic sweater. I made a sweater that Kutovakika has on her YouTube channel, which is pretty much just a sweater that you knit from bottom up, and you make the front piece and then you make the back piece. So you make two equal sides, and then you stitch them together in the shoulders and on the sides, and then you pick up stitches around the armhole area, and then you knit two sleeves. So this is the yarn, or the garment even, and as I said earlier, it's Drops Fable. Okay, so lavender field combined with Drops alpaca silk. Yeah, this is the sweater, my very first sweater, and let's put it on. So yeah, as you can tell, it's just, it's lovely. I mean, it's not my favorite sweater, but it's like a thinner layer, but yeah, I think it looks pretty good. The only issue I have with the Drops Fable, it's not 100%, what is it called? It's not 100% wool. It contains something nylon, not nylon, it's something that's like not a natural fiber. And yeah, I can tell that, because when I wear this and it gets warm, it kind of doesn't let the humidity go out, it kind of collects on your back. So this is kind of it's a sweater I wear if I need to layer and we're going through a forest. I can wear this underneath like a windbreaker or whatever, and it keeps the heat in, but it's not the best. But yeah, it's kind of like a wear and tear shirt now. But yeah, it's my first one, and this gave me more flavor to get started with knitting, and I'm happy about that. And yeah, I'm gonna keep it. So the next one I made after that was 100% wool from Drops also. So I made this brown, chocolate brown with dipped sleeves in brown, and you can see it's a mess. Oh, it's a mess, but I love it. You can, yeah. I mean, who cares? So this is the Fall Bluff Pullover by Ashley Lillis, and I used Drops Alaska. The main color is Toffee, number 66, and I ran out of this color, and this was when it had just been released, so it was pretty much sold out everywhere where I looked, and I was so eager to just finish the shirt, so I went to a yarn shop to hope like that they had the yarn there. They didn't, but they had this brown. Why not? I mean, it turned out pretty. And this is like my favorite sweater at the moment. It's seriously, it's so simple, and it's 100% untreated wool. Let's try this on. So yes, this jumper, and I love it. It's not like the prettiest jumper, but I love clothes that are very functional, and I can use this with just like jeans, or I can wear this as an extra layer and feel extra super warm, and yeah, it's just lovely. I mean, it's not for the most sensitive people, like it is scratchy, but I'm not that sensitive. It can be a bit sensitive like just around the neck or like armpits, but I mean, it's loose enough, and like wearing it also has made it somewhat not as scratchy. And yeah, so I made the first jumper I made was where you knit a back piece and a front piece, and then you pick up stitches and make like a sleeve on it. But I wanted to have a raglan sleeve, so Ashley Lillis had a Fall Bluff pullover where it has this raglan increase thing, so I get to learn those things. Yeah, it's also a free pattern, also available on YouTube, so you can follow the video. The same with Kutovakika, and yeah, you can check out the pattern if you want to, if you just want a simple top. Yeah, I don't know. So this is my lovely chocolate brown, worn out, pilling jumper. Since I made a raglan sleeve jumper, I wanted to make a raglan sleeve linen jumper. I used to own a really beautiful jumper. It was my favorite jumper in the whole world, and for some reason I don't have it anymore. So learning how to knit, all of a sudden I just realized I could just knit that same sweater. Like, I remember how it looks like. It was a boat neck jumper that had raglan sleeves. I was a bit unsure if it was raglan sleeves or if it had. Yeah, that was like, where did they start from? Like, how did you start from here? Or yeah, it was kind of like, I didn't really know until I found pictures and I saw the jumper again. I was like, okay, it has a boat neck, has raglan sleeves. So I tried to use this pattern to create that same jumper that I used to own. And in my memory, the jumper was pretty heavy when you wore it. So, and it wasn't soft as cotton, so I was like, maybe it's a cotton linen blend. So I bought off-white yarn, Drops Bomullin, and I started making this pattern. So I think the needle size for this, I can't remember if I use needles number 6 for this. Yeah, I can't remember, but I think when I made that white jumper, let me just go pick it up. Here it is. So I made the exact same Ashley Lilies pattern with the raglan increases, and then I remember that the jumper I used to only didn't have an edge to it, or like no ribbing or nothing. It was just plain. And then it started, and in my head it stuck in at the whole like jumper, and it just had the raglan increases, and then it had just a plain edge to it. Didn't have any like details, so it's just plain stockinette raglan. That's it. The sleeves were like straight. There's not like any balloon arms, and it wasn't like fully like tight. It was like straight. So there's some wiggle room, and then like around the sleeve you had room, and I really loved that one. I was always like, I was wearing it. It's just so functional. Like I could wear it just for casual like events, or going to work, or hang out with friends, or even like dress up and go to party on it with it on. And so I started to make this pattern the Ashley Lilies pattern, and I doubled the stitches since I used twice. I think I used like number 6 needle, 6 millimeters on the brown one. So I was like, okay, I'll make the jumper with the smallest I had was 3.5, I think. 3 millimeters or 3.5 millimeters. It must have been 3.5 looking at it. But anyway, so I started making it, and then I realized when I came through the sleeves, I was like, okay, it looks like it fits. So I started to make the body, tried it on, and it's very like hugging in the armpits. So I decided to like knit the whole thing, and then when I have done that, I would start to rip up from the top. And I don't know who here has tried to do that before on something that has a raglan increase. That turned out to be pretty difficult, because it wasn't just ripping off. You had to like pull, like when you went this bit around and you came here, you had to like pull the thread out a lot. And what I did was I had the jumper on like this, and then I saw, oh, from here it's pretty, high up, and if I just open the stitches and then like for like 7 rows or whatever it was, and then I can just pull out the whole thing. And I figured, like on the back side it was fine with, like I didn't want to take off too much, because I didn't like want a jumper that was like always, like I was afraid I would stretch out here and then it would fall off my shoulders, so I didn't want to do that. Instead I left when I felt like, okay, the back is fine, now I just need the front to be a bit down, because it felt like when the back was fine, the front was kind of here on me, like strangling me. So that's where I figured, oh yeah, because the edges here don't come undone, so I can just take stitches here from the front and then undo them, and then quite many little threads here and there on the other side, but you can't really tell that on the front. And I just love how minimal it looks, and it's very clean. The only difference here is that, yeah, I learned also that stockinette, if you don't have a ribbing to it, it kind of starts rolling up like this one does. I blocked it, but yeah, it still goes up. But when it wasn't blocked, it was kind of like this. or blocked. It's like that now, and I'm okay with that. Like the sleeves, like I try to make them, they are pretty wide, but for some reason when I was doing the edge I decided to knit two together and then make this edge, because I felt, since I knitted the sleeves first and seeing how this rolls up, I didn't want that for my sleeves, so I thought that if I make this smaller then the edge will not turn, and I was right. And let's try this on now. So this is pretty much what it looks like. It's just a normal cotton linen jumper, and I love it. Also, my cat's like, what the hell is going on? Yeah, it looks a bit strange now with this underneath, and I've just worn it, so it's a bit like crinkly, and it was in the washing. That's why it's not as like neat, but yeah, you can see here, like from blocking it, there's like a little line. But yeah, it's very like, I just love the texture. It's just a plain normal jumper. Okay, my camera's battery is starting to fail, it's starting to die, so I'm gonna hurry up a little bit. Next project, I think I started this around the same time as I was doing the white one. Is a ranunculus. The weird thing is I started to make this, and I remember knitting this when we went to visit Philip's parents in England, and I was knitting this on the plane, and I finished it when I got home from the trip. I did it in like a week, but I wore it once. Then when I wore it, it felt too short. Like when my arms were down, it was fine, but when I raised, the armpit, it's just very, like, it hangs pretty low. So when you raise your arm, it drags up the side. So when I was doing that, you could see my bra. And I was at my sister's place, we had a movie night, and I felt like, oh, I love this shirt, and like I got compliments for it also, that it was so nice. I just didn't feel comfortable wearing it because I had to just sit like this, and so I decided to undo the ribbing and then add in an extra skein, because I had one skein left, I think. So I made that skein, and then that took me 4 months to finish. I had put the skein on, I just had to do the ribbing bit. The thing was that I had those needles on another project, and I just realized that project is down there, and I'll have to pick it up when it comes to that one. But anyway, that's a work in progress at the moment. But yeah, so I did the twisted ribbing. I think it's a 1x1 twisted ribbing. I didn't do the twisted ribbing on the back, just in the front, and you can tell that this is a new knitter who has made this. Like, it's not perfect in any way, and there's probably a few mistakes here and there, but I mean, who can see that from afar, right? So let's try this on too. And the sleeves are, now when I actually did finish it, I loved wearing it. First I was like, I don't know if this color is good enough. It's like, it's meant to be brown, but it's like a gray brown, and it's not like browny enough. But wearing it, it's like perfect with this blue underneath. I'll show you. But yeah, the sleeves are kinda like, if I had long sleeves, that would be fine. Let me just put it on and see what I'm talking about. So you see, the blue underneath is lovely, and then you kind of have this like a little skirt here in the, like, woo. I love that it's so flowy. I love clothes that are like flowy, but also like you get like a figure in this, like it's, yeah. So I didn't do short sleeves and I didn't do long sleeves. I did something in between, and have like, when I made this first, it was like the sleeve was like right here in my elbow, so I've been sitting like this, which probably stretched it out. Or it could be the short rows. I think I did short rows here. Yeah, I did. Like, you can tell here. Not the most perfect, but I don't care. The only issue here is that they're a bit dense here. But yeah, it's functional. It works. And I love this blue with it. The funny thing is I haven't been wearing blue that much lately until like a month ago, and all of a sudden everything is blue. But yeah, Ranunculus by Midori, Hirose. Everybody who knits probably knows this pattern. Yeah, but I actually, oh yeah, that's something I could mention, why I decided to do this one. That was something, it was like, I just wanted to, I was like, I didn't really know if this was gonna be like a pattern I'm gonna wear, but then I was watching, let's see, this is like my favorite channel on YouTube, and for some reason I can't remember the name, We Grow Wild. I saw her talking about this pattern, and I also saw Cat Weaver making this in different variations. So those two inspired me to make this, but it wasn't until I saw We Grow Wild's video about her most worn items, or what, like she showed all her garments or tops or some sort of video like that, and she was saying that this is like, it looks really difficult to make, but it's such an easy pattern to follow and a perfect beginner friendly lace pattern. So that was kind of interesting to like, okay, I want a challenge, so I'll see if I can make it. And so I did, and I made it. It has mistakes, but I'm really eager to, now when it's done and I made it longer, I need to make more. I want to make like a thin one, kind of similar to, like a thin woolen one, like Cat Weaver has, like mohair type of thing that you can just wear as a thinner layer, and you can have like tops underneath. I'm like, there's so many things I want to make. But then, yeah, then I made this top by Knit Purl Girl, I think. Aosta summer top, and I used Drops Boomerang for this one, and I love the pattern. By this time it's like, from knitting a free raglan pattern, I felt like it felt like almost like I could have figured out how to make this without the pattern, so I didn't feel like it was like the best pattern to pay for. It's like lovely written and easy to follow, but if you know how to make a raglan sleeve top, then this is essentially it. It just, I didn't really feel like it was worth it. Like it does have German short rows, so it feels like, I probably could have chosen like a different pattern because I wanted to have a texture pattern, but like also a challenge. So it just felt a bit like, I don't know. But I like this shirt, but I don't know if this color is right for me. And it's kind of like this color makes me feel like I'm a tin man or like I'm wearing armor. It's probably like I don't know if you what opinions you have about this, but like it's not my favorite. Like I feel like if I want to wear this like properly, then I should like bleach my hair so it's like white, and then like I don't know, like my hair color with this, just they're kind of on the same saturation level so it feels like there's nothing that pops on me unless I wear something really bright, and I try to do that. This fabric is so thick. You're not meant to use this thick yarn. I don't know. It just feels bulky, and I don't know if I want that. And it was meant to be a summer breezy top, and it just feels so warm to wear. And I do want to make it again, maybe in a like I have a maybe I'll do that. I have a yarn, a bamboo green yarn. Maybe that could be cool. Yeah, I'll make a swatch with this pattern, and we will see how that goes. Yeah, great idea. Perfect. I don't think I would have thought about that unless I made this video. So yes, then I got a request from my sambo to make him a jumper. So we have the Gib II by Andrea Mowry, and this is cabled raglan increased, and this is a beautiful pattern. This was, I think it was like an 8-row type of pattern, and that was like knitting on this dark fabric was kind of like, oh my god. It was very harsh on the eyes, and that's where I'm gonna put this on also so you can get an idea what it looks like. I'm gonna steal this from Philip one day. Yeah, that was something. The yarn is we bought this yarn when we were visiting his parents in England. His parents live in Nottingham, and for some reason I want to say Notting Hill. They live in Nottingham, but outside of Nottingham, not like in the middle of city center, so there weren't that many yarn shops in that area. If we wanted to go to like yarn shops, we had to have a car or take the tram, and in that case we needed to get a ride to the tram stop, and it was pretty difficult, so we didn't really go much in yarn shops when we were there. But his parents were really lovely and took me to a few yarn shops, but it was mainly like hobbycraft, and we went to thrift stores, and all the yarns I could find were pretty much just acrylic. So my sambo chose this yarn, an acrylic yarn. That wouldn't have been my first pick, since I'm trying to avoid like plasticky materials, and since I made this brown jumper, I feel like I don't wanna knit anything non-woolly or like natural fibery, and like this just like this doesn't feel as warm, and I wanted him to get this wool experience. But yeah, we found what we found, and he loves the color, and I needed it for him. It turned out a bit too big, but yeah, I mean, he still wears it, and I learned plenty of new things, and I love this pattern. I'm gonna make it again. So while I was making this one, I started to kind of feel a bit like, oh, my eyes hurt, it's so dark to like look at it, and the pattern sometimes was like, if I missed like until increases were done and I was knitting the body part, when I was doing the first bit, it didn't really make sense in my head how the repeat or like the pattern repeat, how that worked. So I had to look at each row and like, yeah, always look at like how many, like where I am in the pattern. So I needed to have a project where I had a break. So I started to make this cardigan. The idea here was that I was gonna make, it has like these, I don't know, European shoulder, I don't know if that's a thing, but like the shoulder falls behind your back almost, yeah, maybe you can see that. And yeah, I just wanted a stockinette project, and it was meant to be like a block cardigan, like block colored cardigan. And yeah, it was my first cardigan to make, so I was a bit like, I'm not gonna challenge myself because I was like, the colors I had, they didn't really work in my head. It worked when I was like looking at them online, but when they arrived I was like, oh yay, they look lovely together. But then it's like, how do I combine them? Do I make stripes? Do I make blocks? Do I make edge that it's like one color? So I chose a pattern, and when I started to make the pattern like the edge was included in this part. So it's like one, like you're going around the whole thing, and that wasn't something you picked up, and I was like, I can't be bothered to like start picking up stitches, and I'm just gonna do the cardigan pattern, see how it goes, and get the idea of a cardigan construction, and then see like from there, like, okay, what can I tweak with myself? And yeah, like there's part of this that I have to pick up and then do the neck bit, and then I have knitted buttonholes, so there's 3 buttonholes and a ribbing bit. One sleeve is on the go. But yeah, it's just yeah, I don't know, like looking at the color now, it's kind of like I'm kind of bored of it, but yeah, maybe I'll put some cute buttons. I saw We Grow Wild that she made her own buttons, wooden buttons and resin buttons. I was like, ooh, that looks really interesting, so maybe I'll give it a go, and maybe not, maybe I'll buy something if maybe there's something on Etsy I can find. But yeah, this is something I'm currently working on, but it's been a bit like, yeah, I haven't really been paying that much attention to it. It's been like a side thing. There's been other patterns that I've been into. So the next pattern, this is like after the brown one. Like this is the one that looks the most like professionally made, and it's one of my favorite patterns. This is Squareneck camisole by Helene Beba, and it's an amazing just a base piece in your wardrobe. The only thing here you can kind of see here that the edges here are shorter, because yeah, when you pick up stitches you don't pick up all the stitches, and I probably could have ended up needing more stitches because it's pretty like it's pretty up there in my armpit. So it's like I tried to stretch it out and blocking. It worked a little bit, but not enough. So it's not like on comfort level for me, it's not the best. The yarn I'm using is Sandnes Garn Sunday in the color Poppy. It's amazing. I love it. So like it's a very, very red color, but also a hint of orange. And it's just perfect. I'll just put it on. It's amazing. I love that you can wear a bra underneath. With darker colors you can obviously wear more darker or bras, or with darker tops you can wear more darker bras. And I love it. And I was a bit like, oh, is the Sunday... I was first like, is the Sunday even gonna work as a summer garment? But it does. It's really good, but the only issue I have is when I'm like walking. It might not be an issue for you, but like if it was a bit lower, then that could be a bit better. And for winter it's gonna be an amazing, just an extra layer. Okay, my camera is running out, but this is like the perfect, and like goes so well with my skin tone now for some reason. Like feels like in a mirror, like looking in the mirror, it doesn't really go well, but I don't know, I like it. So I'm just gonna put this on first and then I'm gonna... Okay, so this is my last finished object. It's my Catedral pullover by EweKnit. And I made this as a part of a knit along. I chose Drop's bell for this, and this bit was... I'm just gonna hurry up, I don't have that much time. This bit was meant to go all the way up here with like 5 rows of lace, and then this bit started to hurt my hands. I ended up ending it sooner, and this is the result. Okay. And now I just want to show my work in progress. I'm doing my little secret crop by Jessie Maed Designs, also because of We Grow Wild. I love her. If you're watching this, I love your channel. Don't ever stop. Or stop if you feel like there's something more important in life that brings you joy, but otherwise I love your channel. I watch all of them. Yeah, so I'm making this little crop. I tried it on, it works, but I think I'm gonna make it like a long one. So all the tops I have now feel like they're a bit cropped because I get so eager to wear them and finish them, and then it feels like, I don't really have any for those days where I want to wear something a bit longer. So this will be one of those projects. Okay, so that was my first video. I hope you watch. If you have watched all the way if you have watched all the way here, congratulations. I'm kind of tired of listening to myself talk now. I'm gonna try to edit this, and hopefully it comes up this week. And next week we are finally moving house. We're moving on Saturday next week, 22nd. So it might be that this video comes up when we have already moved, but the next video is gonna be in the house. Can't wait to show you the house. Oh, I'm so excited. And yeah, if you have any questions, just pop them in the comments section. I'm also on Instagram, anything by Media. And yeah, have a great evening, day, weekend, whenever you're watching this, and I hope to hear from you. And let me also know if you're knitting on something exciting, and if you got to if you saw something you liked or got inspired by. So let me know. I have 1% battery left, but I'm trying to my head is all over the place. But thank you for watching, and yeah, I hope to hear from you soon. Okay, bye!